Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for your leadership on this issue. Having a conversation with such courageous women like Ms. Aldridge and Ms. Houston really is an honor for us. And we owe you a debt of gratitude for organizing such a thoughtful hearing and set of witnesses and conversation. I have a 9-year-old daughter who is adopted. My family and I went through the certification process in California, in Los Angeles County, to become certified foster parents. That wound up not being our final path, but I experienced the other side of the system and the deficiencies that exist, the gaps, the imperfect but hardworking people in most instances who try their best to get it right. Ms. Houston, I'd like to start with you, if it's okay. I just want to appreciate so much you coming and sharing your story, and I couldn't help but notice you being so moved by Ms. Aldridge's story. And that level of empathy and human connection, I just wanted to recognize for the record, the world would tell us that we are all so different.
That's me all the time.
Right? And to see your heart be pained by another human's tragedy, I think is just an example and a reminder that there is more that binds us, even in the painful times, than that divides us. It was an interesting to hear you talk about your treatment as care. You talked about the care that you received as has been sort of interrogated or questioned a little bit by my colleagues. I think the fact that you refer to it as care says so much about who you are. Here's my question to you. There was a moment in your testimony when you referred to an individual whose intervention seemed as if it had a positive impact on you. And I want to give some breath and offer you the opportunity to give a little bit about that CASA worker who was assigned to you, who made your soul smile. And talk to us about that experience and how that helped to support you to get to this moment.
Okay, right before I went to jail, like maybe 3 months before, I met Miss Page. Miss Kate assigned her to me. And when she came all the way from Savannah to see me, I did not want to talk to her. Like, I was shooing her away. I was like, just go away. Like, just go back to Savannah. I'm okay. And she would not give up on me. Like, she kept prying her way in until she got in. And then eventually I got out of care because of the situation. I signed the papers on accident. And she still was there for me. She did not let me sleep outside. Like, she reached out to CASA program, and she worked, like, hard with them to get me somewhere to be. Like, they even got me back in care. And the foster system did not want me back, and they still made it happen. So I just want to thank Miss Page. And she's still here in my life. She takes my phone, cheering me on right now. I thank her a lot.
I think we all thank Ms. Page. There are lots of Ms. Pages in the world, as many as there are who let you down. There are some Ms. Pages out there, and we're grateful for it. You were going to offer something additional.
It's crazy because a lot of people that I try to push away, they actually leave, but she didn't.
Yeah, there are a lot of Miss Pages. In my life, her name was Miss Pearl. So we all have a Miss Page or Miss Pearl. Just quickly before I run out of time, Miss Aldridge, as a parent, I couldn't imagine the pains of what you went through. I remember when my daughter turned 2, and she just turned 9, and thinking about her life being cut short I just could not imagine it. So I want to appreciate your courage for sharing your story, for not swallowing what others would have us to believe as personal shame, but for giving voice to young Brooklyn. I would just ask you, you said a lot about like the reason you being here is to prevent this kind of harm and tragedy for other Brooklyns that might be in the system, and I think for other Miss Aldridges who might be in the system as well. Do you think that there's something unique about your experience in Georgia, or are there other parents and or children that you know? Is there something that we should be paying attention to that that families might have in common? Where we can think across the system and across the states to try to answer the call that you put before this subcommittee to act and save other families.
I don't know. I have no idea. Can you like?
Yeah, I guess without knowing any details and only hearing your testimony and reading your written testimony, I guess I wonder, are there other people that you might know in the Georgia system that had similar negative experiences?
I mean, personally, I don't know
anyone
else. No, ma'am.
Well, thank you for that. I appreciate it, and most of all, I appreciate you being here and giving voice to parents and to young people. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator Butler. And before we